You're dreaming, Mr. Trump. That's Iran's response after the US president claimed he halted a massive military strike to give diplomacy one last chance. Now, Tehran is threatening US forces in the Strait of Hormuz, the gateway for a fifth of the world's oil. One miscalculation, and the world's energy lifeline could become the next battlefield. Iran has issued one of its strongest warnings yet over the Strait of Hormuz, with a senior military advisor to Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei threatening to strike any additional US military deployment in the strategic waterway, while US President Donald Trump says diplomacy has been given one final chance before military action. Speaking in a televised interview, Mohsen Rezaei, military advisor to Iran's Supreme Leader, accused Washington of seeking to seize control of the Strait of Hormuz.
Now there's no ceasefire, but our attacks have meaning. For example, we will by no means allow a second corridor to open in the Strait of Hormuz. Even if they bring an aircraft carrier, we will hit the carrier. If they bring military forces, we will hit them. For now, we threaten the ships not to go. Fortunately, many ships listen to our threats and turn back, and we do not engage. But some who are clearly under complete pressure from the Americans come. Well, they sustain some damage and then they turn back themselves.
Rezaei claimed that commercial vessels had been warned away by Iran and alleged that ships refusing to comply had sustained damage before retreating. Rezaei also dismissed recent comments by US President Donald Trump, who claimed he had cancelled what he described as an attack larger than any since the Second World War, to allow diplomacy another opportunity.
I heard that yesterday, apparently, Mr. Trump said we had an operation larger than World War II. His reference is to the very thing I am talking about. Yes, you're dreaming, Mr. Trump. You were in a dream and a fantasy. But why wasn't it implemented? Why didn't your people set foot on the ground? No, I cannot say it has been completely ruled out. But firstly, it has become very weak, and the probability has decreased. Secondly, even if it is carried out, it will be limited, for example, in the form of a raid.
Rezaei further alleged that Washington's objective extended beyond military operations, accusing the United States of attempting to capture Iran's energy infrastructure and take control of one of the world's most important maritime choke points.
Trump's third war was because they said, we will open the Strait of Hormuz, go in and seize Iran's oil and gas, Karg, and so on. In northern Iran, we deploy air defense. There are only a few bridges and roads leading from north to south, most of which pass through highlands. Therefore, we take Iran's oil and gas, and the management of the Strait of Hormuz falls into our hands, removing it from Iran's control. Now, would the world tolerate this? Would even the Europeans tolerate the global economy's choke point being in America's hands? Would China tolerate it? This itself could have been a catalyst for World War III.
Meanwhile, the United States has demonstrated that it is actively enforcing its maritime blockade. Footage released by US Central Command on August 3rd showed a US naval officer issuing a radio warning to a commercial vessel operating in the region.
Captain, you are requested to alter course to 190. If you do not comply, we will compel compliance with force. This is Warship 45. We will monitor your course for compliance at this time. Warship 45 standing by on 16 out.
CENTCOM said that as of August 3rd, US forces had rerouted 44 commercial vessels, disabled 2 ships, and boarded 2 others while enforcing the maritime blockade around Iran. At the White House, President Donald Trump said negotiations with Tehran were continuing at Iran's request, with mediation efforts backed by Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Qatar.
Right now we're talking at the request of Iran, backed by Saudi Arabia, backed by UAE, and backed by Qatar in particular, but others also. Many countries called, the leaders of many are friendly with a lot of them, almost all of them, one way or the other, and they all wanted to give this a last chance. This is a last chance. This is not something that, if it doesn't happen, this is a last chance for them to sign a good document.
Trump also revealed that Washington had been prepared to launch what he described as an unprecedented military operation before suspending it to allow diplomacy.
We're going to hit them very hard yesterday, very, very hard, harder than any attack. I think I can say, General, from a point of knowledge, any attack since World War II. That's pretty big. And we were set to go, and they called. And in addition, Saudi Arabia called, and UAE called, Qatar called. I called from numerous people. I don't want to use the word begging, but some were, in particular, Iran did not want to be hit. And they said, we want to talk.
The latest exchange underscores how the Strait of Hormuz, through which roughly 1/5 of the world's seaborne oil trade passes, has once again become the focal point of a rapidly escalating confrontation. Kiev's attack on an Iranian military cargo ship in the Caspian Sea has brought the conflict to the brink of a collision, where threats from Tehran could result in a World War III-style showdown to defeat Putin. The vessel was part of a supply line Russia has relied on since 2022 to import Shahed drones and missiles from Iran. The strike marked the first direct clash between Kyiv and Tehran since the war began. For Iran, this move was hostile and criminal, which cannot go unanswered. This raises the risk of the two conflicts becoming entangled. But what is on the table for the US? Ukraine holds the key to that puzzle. While talking to The Sun, Dr. Richard Arnold, an Eastern European security expert, shared how Ukraine may be positioning itself as an anti-Iran shield.
Ukraine wants to be in Trump's good books. Trump has shown a lot of frustration with NATO allies who have not come to his aid, and it appears Zelensky's almost trying to say, look, we're the better partner than your NATO partners. Zelensky is trying to build up the image of Ukraine as the Israel of Eastern Europe.
Adding on to this analysis, Professor Mikhail Alexeyev, a political science expert at San Diego University, said Kyiv's technical support to the US to counter Iranian Shahed drones is a calculated move to drum up support in Washington.
For Ukraine, it's very important to have the United States on its side. Ukraine needs to show Trump that it has the cards. This is one of the cards, that it can help the United States prevail in achieving objectives in Iran with its nuclear program suppressed and ensuring security in the Strait of Hormuz.
Moreover, Zelensky revealed that Russia has been feeding Tehran satellite intelligence to strike American military bases in the Gulf. The Ukrainian leader has pledged to share the intel with Washington after ambitions of both states are aligned.
There is a clear correlation between Russia's satellite imagery of these sites and Iranian strikes, both before the attacks, in preparation for them, and afterwards to assess the damage inflicted. None of us in the world should turn a blind eye to one very simple fact. Evil always seeks ways to make things worse and spread further. Russia must be stopped. This war must be stopped. Pressure on the aggressor must work.
Ukraine's efforts are finally reaping results. At the NATO summit in Ankara, Trump said he would grant Ukraine the game-changing license to build state-of-the-art Patriot missile interceptors. However, the growing alignment between Washington and Kyiv comes with its own risk. To balance out the power dynamics, Putin could pile up more support behind Iran and deepen the conflict, pushing it down the path of escalation. Alexeyev points out how Russia's war was a much broader international conflict from the get-go.
We have seen the way that Russia aligned its forces, counting on economic support from India and China, on military support with Shahed drones and ballistic missile technology from Iran, with troops and artillery ammunition from North Korea. Wars, particularly involving great powers, rarely can be contained on a regional scale.
Putin's biggest constraint right now is Russia's weakening war machine. Russia has suffered 1.4 million casualties since invading Ukraine in 2022, including an estimated 500,000 deaths. To deal with this challenge, Moscow deployed thousands of North Korean troops, and Parliament allowed even the most hardened criminals to be drafted. Zelensky has warned that Putin may order a fresh mobilization after September's elections, as a response to Ukraine's deep strike operations on Russian infrastructure. While Putin's ambitions may have stalled for now, owing to cracks on the Russian front, Alexeyev adds that more needs to be done to force him to backtrack.
Putin is very stubborn, and Russia is a big, resourceful, rich country. The pressure signals moves in the right direction, but it's not yet enough. A lot more has to be done, both in terms of supporting Ukraine with greater capabilities and in terms of repositioning globally against Russia.
Whether Zelensky's gamble pays off in Washington or not, one thing is for sure. The line separating the two wars is getting thinner, and neither side shows any sign of stepping back.